Boom, there we go. Now we ready. People, I done sat up here, did a loop. I done had sound issues. We done done some things. But guess what, people? We are here with another episode of What Is This, People? The Redirect Your Group Refocus podcast. And I thank you. I'm your host, Life Coach Jeff Relaford. And I have a very special guest on here with me today. Look here, the person who was supposed to get life coach, they canceled. So guess what? We just sat up here. We just shifted some room right here to fit this special person in the mix. And she is Mary Kennedy.
Ah, my king.
I'm trying to tell you, this woman is dope here. Just her mind, the way she thinks, her concepts, different things she's trying to put in motion and action.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't come like this. So I just said good things about you, but I want you to tell people who is Mary Kennedy.
Look, just rediscovering her myself. So I am Mary Kennedy, or SelenaKay, in the Rock Truth world. I am the recreator of Rock Truth LLC and all of its subsidiaries, where we are simply here to harvest reformation in the hearts and minds of his people.
Now, how did God just drop that on you?
God, right? I mean, it's innate. I know that I am born at a particular time for such a time as this. I was initially worshiping at Tree of Life Missionary Baptist Church, and under the Honorable Pastor Cato Brooks, which is my dad.
Really?
I consider my dad.
Okay, I was gonna say,
girl. No, he chose me. So, no. Like most of them, we all have daddy issues. So, no, he chose me, and he chose to empty himself, pour everything that he had into me before he was recalled. Okay. And so I didn't know this was happening at the time. I just knew that I would get a bunch of phone calls, and it was a bunch of tests. It was test questions, material I didn't know why or what it would be for. And then after he passed, I kind of like withdrew into myself. Right? Okay. That kind of was a heavy blow. I didn't expect that. I always thought that he would just be there. You'll be there. And so a few years prior to COVID, I came across Dr. Miles Monroe. And Dr. Miles Monroe was teaching on the kingdom, which is what Pastor Cato focused on. It was the Father, the kingdom was coming. So he was the first one talking in relative to actual colonization. Okay. And so it was a very attractive piece. And I remember hearing something in reference to the rock or something like that. Okay. And of course, I've always been a truther, somebody of truth. I grew up believing that we were told a lie. Yeah. Something as simple as you can be whatever you want to be, but I can't. I can only be who God said I am. So
say that one more time.
You can be whatever you want to be. And this is a common misconcept. Or miscon, right? That we teach our children that you can be whatever you want to be, and you can't. You can only be who God says you can be. And because of that, I went to school. I was every major trying to figure it out. And but also, you take those routes and they teach. However, I was at the time, I was like, this is a waste of time. If you would have just knew who I was and paid attention to who I was as a child, we would have avoided a few, obstacles in life, So Right Truth came from the birth of, coming out of Cato Brooks teaching into Dr. Miles Monroe Kingdom, and then now Right Truth.
Did y'all peep all that? Did y'all get all of that? Because the I'm trying to, let me see if I can put it this way. It's a lot of wisdom. Let me put it that way. Wisdom. When you sit under people and you get knowledge, you get information, I feel that in a way it's our duty to give that back to people. It's our godly duty to go ahead and reteach that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And like you said, it has to be in alignment with his way, his will, his purpose, everything. There's no other way to do it. We are all called to do something. You know what I mean? But we have to make sure, once again, it's through his alignment, through his will, and through the way that he wants to navigate us. Because it's all about taking direction. And I'm trying to tell you, sister, you are taking direction. just from listening how you talk, how you articulate, with us just helping you with the project that you're working on, sitcom and everything. I'm gonna wait on that though. I'm gonna wait on that. There. But I'm just saying, just because I've had the pleasure of even doing more talking today with having her on, this is just a joy. And man, Oh my gosh. You know how you be thrown off, you don't know what direction you want to go in because there's so many different directions you can go in.
It's so many angles. It really
So many angles.
It really is. I mean, we can go down the avenue of Rockview for a quick second.
Yeah.
Our ideology, of course, to reach the nation.
Yes.
With the F. There's an F on there. And so in efforts to do so, we started out with the radio show.
Okay.
We were doing Rockview radio. And that was about 3 years ago. And initially we were doing a podcast. And so we were thinking we're going to do it in front of an audience of 1, maybe 2, 10, our family and friends. And then we had technical difficulties. And through those technical difficulties, I came across C.O. Smooth, who was actually one of the rock Wu-Tang DJs. Okay. And I was asking him about radio code, and he was just like, you know what? Have you considered just being on a radio station? Okay. And so I'm like, okay. They got back to me. They actually looked at everything that I had already been doing prior to the radio show, all of my posts, and they were just like, no, we want you. And so we went from an audience of possible 1, 2, 3, 12 to 2.9 million. Yeah. Awesome. So that was an amazing accomplishment. And then from there, it was the radio to the cafe. We actually started Rockview Cafe, providing lawfully healthy cuisine for people, because people will eat anything. If you put anything here, you put anything here. And so it's what you believe over what you crave, what he said over what you say, your convictions over your appetite. So that was our premise, to provide that healthy food to our people first. Definitely. Then the healthy food to our people. Definitely. And so we went from the cafe to now desiring to have the Diplomat Center, which in a sense for practical purposes will be a church. Okay. But the Diplomat Center is not just a place of worship. It is a place where you come to learn your rights, roles, and responsibilities as a kingdom citizen. It's almost like a immigration center. Okay. You're coming in once you get your kingdom ID. You get your bill of rights. You learn them. You learn the new language. Okay. Because of course, as you see, I don't speak the same way as everyone else. No, you don't. It's a different language. Sometimes it can be exhausting. However, it's imperative because what I'm putting in here sometimes is subliminal, but also it's right in front of your face, so that it avoids you from implying meaning to words and actually redefining them. Yeah. What I like about that is that every aspect of this, you're building community. And the thing is, that's what a lot of I don't like to say just Black people, but when we look at our culture as a whole, we do lack a lot of community. Yeah. We lack a lot of that camaraderie that it takes to actually grow all of us, not just one individual, but all of us, because it's like the old saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you have so many different aspects of it, because God didn't make it so we can just hit you one way. Yes, sir. God made it so we can come from all sides. All angles. And that is what you are doing. You are coming from all angles with everything. Yes, ma'am. And that's what it's okay. I understand. Now listen here, look at people. I understand she runs with the ladies, you know what I mean? So sitting across back and forth with me doing that, I understand. It's okay with slip up. But I love the fact that you have so many things connected to it. And a lot of people have different things connected and they don't know how it all ties in. Yes, sir. I love how you keep everything interconnected, and you still do not stray away from the vision. I can't. Like we were talking about earlier, just with the word recreation. Yeah. This is already ordained. It's not anything that I'm doing or I'm saying this is him. I know it's him. I know it's not me. I graduated from Valparaiso University as a writer. I'm thinking I was going to be author. That was it. I was cool with that. Like, that's a lot. Give me a few books. And he had way more in store for this, Gotcha. And when you were talking about, building a community, it's deeper. Yeah. This is his kingdom come. He gave us flat out instructions. His kingdom come, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the culture that is in heaven, the love that's in heaven should be here. Come on now. Even with the clothing line, True North, who hold you down, so you always know who you are. God's the original True North, shameless plug. The original point of reference for all things to come into eternity. But even that is when you're clothed in your upright mind, then what would we be wearing in the kingdom? His word. What would the streets be looking like? What would they be paved with? And that's our goal. Our goal here is to make it just like it is here as it is up there. That was the command of order.
Oh, wait, y'all, this is a joy and a delight. I'm trying to tell you, sometimes as a host, you don't have to do as much talking. You just got to listen. And I love listening to this because it is a lot that I can ingest from you, take from you, you know, because as people, I feel that we all should learn from each other in different ways.
Yeah.
But Mary, your calling is strong, very strong. And with it being as strong, you have nowhere to go but up and out and all around. Because what I notice about with people like that is a lot of times, guys, since you're not in a box and you know you can't be kept in a box, you only got one way to move. You only got one way to move, man. Sister.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And you recognize that wholeheartedly. And you mentioned you went to school for writing. That is interesting. And you actually are a part of a book as well.
Yes, actually, yes. And actually, this is, as I was just saying earlier, I did another one too.
Okay, let's talk about that
another
real quick.
book. No, let's focus on this.
Okay, we focus.
Yeah, because this one is more imperative. Not that the other one wasn't at all, but this one is more imperative because this one was more challenging. It was more of my story in 1,000 words. You know, and so in that point, again, you a wordsmith, I have to be strategic with every word that's in here. And the crazy part about it, including with all of it, it was 1,000 words. It was exactly 1,000. It was everything he needed me to say or that needed to be said through me. And so at such a time as this is her story too. It's an anthology with Carolyn Wilson. I met Carolyn Wilson through WBNZ Radio, which was the radio station that we were on. And I met her. We did some fitness work together. And then we've been just rocking ever since. So she's done shows with us on the Rock True Queen show. And she asked me to be in this book. My chapter in the book is called Heal the hashtag because it marks the time that's imperative because this is like the season of hashtag. It's been about that for about the last 5-6 years. So hashtag heal, don't cope, rethink, relearn, retrain, and return your mind, heart back to God because that's all he wants. That's what he's asking for. You.
Dive into that a little bit more with them for because see that's the thing, yo. Yeah. That's the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? That's the part that people need to hear.
Yes, sir.
Because part of this podcast, even though we do real coaching in real time, it's also about shifting your mindset too. And what you have in there is something that can be very helpful to these viewers. So just dive into that a little bit, though.
Yeah, you know, and just in that word shift, along there was one point in which we were part of shift culture. You know, and when you read, he told us rather to turn. Those are two different things. Shifting means you're still growing in the same direction, but you just veered over. Whereas turn is going back, you know, turning away from the way you think. Not necessarily what it is that you're doing because it stems from what you're thinking. And so it's returning your mindset back to him, the way in which he programmed it, not the way in which you reprogrammed. Or redesign, then you got to relearn some things in life. All the stuff that you were taught from childhood, from the things that you learned from your bitter practices of love.
Say that.
You know, you have to relearn it. It's not truth. A lot of the times you hear people come up with their own conclusions regarding love that's left from a bitter source. And you think that this is okay to be like, one of the main things that are out here is I'm cutting them off. Well, God never told you to cut anybody. Just like Judas, you got to hang yourself. There was that Sunday morning, that Thursday, let me be very clear. That Thursday morning was for Judas too. And that's another thing that people can't even, you know, conceive because they think just because of what he did or the role he played in his story, or rather his tale, his story, meant that he was cut out of the promise that wasn't so.
Exactly.
You know, so again, rethinking, relearning, retraining. This takes training. This is like strength training. This is like working out. This is like building those muscles, you know, and so you got to train. This isn't something that you're doing every now and then or sporadically. This is every day. This is just one thing you do. You're devoting yourself to how you think, how you're being, and then return back to the thing. Go back. Go back. It's that simple.
I love that.
It's that simple.
I love that. Because the thing is, and I love it's because it has to be a way of life. It's got to be a way of life.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, even though we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory, the thing is, we can't dwell in that part. We have to keep going and working towards that better.
That's it.
God didn't want us to just be stuck in one place. You know what I mean? That's not what he wanted us to do. He wanted us to have that life and live it in abundance, as he said. You know, and the way to do that is to continuously work on yourself, continuously look to strive to be better. Stop paying attention to those things of old, of your past, that trauma, that stuff that you want to keep blaming your mama, your daddy, your grandmother for, and everybody else, etc. Talking about, oh, okay, well, I have no way but to go down this way because my daddy did it. Nah, or your mama did it. That's not what you have to accept.
No.
When God has called us to do better, that's what I always want to know. And maybe you can answer that question for me. Why is it that when God has called us to do better, we go to church, we're in the healing center and everything. Why is it that we just continue to look back on those things that have a hold on us?
Taught.
Okay.
You're taught that. You're taught that. So that's been there from your household.
Okay.
You have parents that always bring up what you did. What you did wrong. What you did right. It's consistent. But then you grow with those parents who always go through these religious entities that's bringing up their past and bringing that's all they preach about.
That's it.
When Christ had one message, it was repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. Everything else were lessons that he taught. And so we have preachers here who are taking those lessons and turning them into sermons. No, teach what he told you to teach.
Say that one more time.
Mind.
Say that you said teach what? People need to hear it.
No, simply you teach what he taught. You teach the one lesson that he told you. If the gospel is repent, for the kingdom of God that means to rethink, return back to him, change where you're going, your new direction. He's telling you change your mindset. All the rest of these are lessons that he's taught. You're a teacher of those lessons, and they've taken those lessons and turned them into sermons. And those things of old is what they bring up. What you did yesterday, you're drinking, you're cutting, you're sexing, you're texting, and all those things he paid for. There would be no reason for him to come and be payment if he was going to bring up the past. He's not hung up on the cross. Literally. He did a bunch of other stuff outside of the cross. Left, came back. I mean, and then left again. You know what I mean? He's done so much. And the thing about it is that we've been called to do grander. We've been called to stand on his shoulders. Yeah. And it takes absolutely nothing away from him to do it.
Oh, God. A lot of stuff that you saying is stuff that I be telling people all the time. and the thing is, I feel that a lot of people also aren't comfortable with themselves also. And when you're comfortable in yourself and you know who you are and you know who God has called you to be and who you are in God and in Christ, it makes it easier to move that way. Yes, it makes it easier to just, it's stuff, look here. Last night I was at this Christmas party. Brother then had a couple of drinks. I sat up there, I was talking to my people. I was having fun. And let me tell you something. Your boy ain't ashamed of it. Okay, and that's the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to be. No. We live our life with all these convictions, all of these convictions and hang-ups, only for somebody to look us in the face and tell us, like you said, we doing wrong again. All that repetitiveness. That's why I feel people can't get delivered.
No, they can't. Absolutely, because it's religiosity. It's religiosity.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, your being at this very moment in time is grand enough for God for usage. He needs to use. So if you were out there and you were drinking with those people, at the same time, they also had an encounter and experience of God right in you.
Come on.
You don't know what conversations you needed to have. And I found so many people out while I was smoking. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That knew God, they had a relationship with God, and being in the church house with the long dresses. And they looked the part and dressed the part and all that and said the words. And those weren't even the words, it was the words they were making up to. And they heard people say it sounded good, the Facebook cliches. They just run along with it to try to be clever or stand out. And it makes absolutely no sense when you actually put the words together and write. Like I said, you go back to right now, the ship culture. And now the next thing is cut them off, cut people off. You got past people. I'm like, he never said that.
He said love. You don't cut people off when you don't.
How?
You can distance.
Come on.
You can distance, and when you distance, you still keep a window open.
That's it.
It's like I work with this woman who she give me hell all the time. People, she do. I'm just being honest. She do. She all the time. But the thing is, what I have to do is I can't just cut her off and be rude to her, be mean. I have to meet her at a place with love, trying to be helpful, trying to say, okay, what do you need help with today? Do you need me to do A, B, C, X, and Y, and Z? Whether you tell me yes or whether you tell me no. Now, if I got to go above and beyond, I might not want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I might gripe and complain a little bit, but I'm going to do it because what God is going to do is in turn, he's going to give that back to you. That's it. He's going to give that back to you. And a lot of people don't understand we always look for reciprocity with people.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Come on.
Now we're talking because even in that, now you're looking or expecting something in return.
Yes.
That is not unilateral love. God
Yes.
has modeled unilateral love. That means He is loving and loving and loving
Yes.
you. So what was given is for you to pass to the next person.
That's it.
He's loving you, not looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be looking for back. And that's even a stage where I am with love.
Okay.
And it's not about receiving it. It's
Yeah.
about giving it. Once I give love and I am the friend, then that's my job, that's my part.
Mm-hmm.
When you start getting hung up on getting it, receive, that's where all that stuff come in. That's when all that craziness start coming in. But if I just pass it to you like it was passed to me, without thought, without ill intent, but okay, respect it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the thing. People look for reciprocity. And a lot of times, you know, like you were talking about the being, people don't know how to be.
Yeah.
They don't know who to be because you've been given so many models, heroes, to be everything but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even be comfortable. But that's also the law of origin. To be, not to be was never a question, never Shakespeare.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to be exactly who you are to be, and your being then multiplies and then multiplies about the increase. You know what I mean? So it's right here in the law. Like you go right there to Genesis, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Be, that's fruitful, that multiplies. That's it. Can you just be yourself? Because literally not being yourself will infect and affect the price of being child.
Mm-hmm.
It will.
Y'all, this is so good.
This is so good. You're so silly.
Y'all don't understand, y'all. I have deep conversations with people, and everybody can't handle conversations like this. Everybody can't go to this type of level. You know what I mean? Because once again, like we said earlier, everybody's not comfortable with who they are. They start to feel the conviction, and sometimes people even get offended by that because they think you're trying to say, "Oh, you're better, you this or that." No, homeboy, no, girl, that ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm just cool with myself. Now, if you're not cool with me and you don't like how I rock or how I do whatever, just kind of go your separate way. We might cross paths again. It's okay. You know what I mean? But go your separate way. You don't have to deal with all the extra. We can control what we want to bring in and want to bring out. We can filter those things out. A lot of times, especially nowadays in this generation, people like to play the victim so much. They don't want to take accountability for the things that they bring on themselves. For every action, there's always a reaction. You know what I mean? That's something that's always going to be. It's going to be long here and gone when I'm dead. You know? People going to be getting mad, upset, or people going to be happy because of what somebody did to them.
Oh, did they? Everybody are friends. You can't bring single situations into a marital lifestyle.
Ooh, say that again.
You can't bring your single situation into a marital lifestyle.
Girl, if I can zoom in on you,
those are two different ball games. And everybody, there's no exclusive relationships. I'll grow as far as there isn't dating. Get that out of here. There isn't. I'm courting now. The new dressed up version of dating. No, you're not. I'm waiting. Especially as a queen, I can't choose me. I'm waiting. You know, if you really think about it, we've already been betrothed. Who He wants us to be with has already been predestined and predetermined before the foundation of the world. What are we doing besides, I love Ruth, aside from gleaning the field, queen?
How much time we got to do? I got to look at this. Oh, Lord, I'm doing a 30-minute with you. We need another. I need to have you on here again.
Okay.
Because we could get deeper with a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
And I know, dog, I should keep going. That's my cousin over there. He's doing his thing because he's going to be doing his thing in a minute. But, oh, my gosh. I'm telling you, Mary, it is just, I'm at a loss of words because I do not meet a lot of women like this. I just don't. And I'm going to just be flat out honest. Because, you know, man, sometimes we like to get philosophical. We like to use big words. We like to get up there and make stuff sound nice. You know what I mean? But it's even hard to find men that keep it real. But you are just so confident in you and in how you move. You know what I mean? And what you confident in what you believe in. You stick to what you believe in. You don't waver from that. You know, and just with spending the amount of time that I have with you which hasn't been a lot, but it's been enough. It's been enough to look at you for who you are as a person, to read your spirit, to read the energy that's around you. And I want to thank you for just being authentically you. Like taking that saying, everybody always say, you got to be yourself. Okay, and some people that's saying that mess and they ain't really being themselves.
They ain't right.
But no, they're not at all. But my sister, you are being authentically you. And I just want to congratulate you for that. Because so many people it's hard for them to break out of that bond. And I'm glad that how God has set it upon you, and whatever He has in store for you, anything that you touch, drop, or deliver. And we're gonna keep going because as we talking about touching, dropping, and delivering, we gotta talk about that sitcom.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. So representing the Priestley's, we were initially gonna do another sitcom. We had just started Right True Comedy, where that's where the spirit meets his flesh. Because I'm telling you, you gotta crack up laughing at yourself. Like if you really pay attention to what you do, how you think, what you be on, you gotta crack up. And so with Representing Priestley's, we were starting with another sitcom. It was called F Love. Based on another comedian. Shout out to Freddie Love and his queen. And so we were going to initially do a Martin style sitcom. We had a few people that kind of resembled the characters. Was like, no, let's do that. And so God shifted that plan when we met or came across another fellow truther. Dr. J, the comedian, or our pastor, Dr. James Adams.
Shout out to
James Adams. And so I saw him doing stand up at the comedy club one evening, and I mean, this man, he rocked truth. He was the first person I ever see get up there as a pastor. He cussing, he telling the truth about He telling the truth about how church roll, how his family is. Like he didn't care. I'm like, oh, yo, and then what really sealed it, he opened the door to the church. I'm like, do your job, Reverend, do your job. And so he did that, and I was like, yo, no, I got to know who this guy is. So I initially started out managing him and other comedians with the comedy group under Right True Comedy, and we were destined to do the Priestley's, and then God decided. And so it went into the direction that he wanted to do, wanted to grow. And Representing Priestley's was based around, or is, based around the life of Dr. J, the comedian, and the different things that he has going on. He has so many going on, but the counseling aspect as well as the pastoring and the comedy. So it's based around that, providing laughter, love, and friendship. And I love to say it's the friendships of Martin. It's the love of Martin, the friendships of Living Single, the comedic genius of Jamie Foxx Show, and the classicness of this person. So, an amazing cast who is family, because the truth of the matter is God don't care nothing about this sitcom. He could care less. He cares about the friendships that are being established behind the scenes. That is our main focus. And even with that, you can tell through the acting, because we're truly friends, because we really love each other and are there for each other, support each other, that through the camera, it's genuine. It's true. As opposed to you get a whole bunch of people that are acting together and then they just did a project and then, it may have been acting, but we're excuse me, because it's a difference between real and true. We're true. And it comes across that camera, and that's all that matters, what we're doing behind the scenes. And like you said, the community or colonies that we're developing. And the crazy part about it is now everybody is part of the ministry with Presence of the Lord Bible Church. So it's all love, man. It's all God.
Okay, look, I hope y'all took in every word that she has said today, because I'm still digesting there. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch this joke.
Okay, me too.
Because let me tell you, because you dropped so much, and I just want to thank you for being here and grace my podcast with your presence, because like I said, I just have not met a lot of women who are like you, and you are definitely somebody that I need to keep around. I need to know more of. I need to talk to. I need to have you on speed. I'll be like, girl, what's going on?
I got you.
So let the people know where they can find you. And once again, the projects you're working on, just reiterate that real quick.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook. I am Mary SelenaKay. I've run through so many different names. Like, 1,000 names.
Don't change this one.
I'm not. I'm back to Mary. That's the thing. The thing about it is I kept the SelenaKay for Rock Truth, but I'm back to Mary because I understand I'm carrying something. Queen, Rock Single, Rock Truth Cafe, Rock Truth Cafe Live, Rock Truth Science, Rock Bottom, Rock Truth Beats, Representing Priestley. And you won't get my telephone number. Oh, we also do. You won't. We also do. There's just things about you got to keep to yourself.
There you go.
Then we also do printing and marketing. So we got Rock True in His image, Rock True Prints, where we brand you in accordance to the way God sees you, not even the way you see yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, y'all. Now we just sat up here, had a whole master class out here when it comes to the Lord and where we're supposed to go with this. So y'all don't miss a beat on this. Don't blame Life Coach Jeff for not giving it to you. Because we got it here on the show. Okay? So, all right, y'all. Once again, this is your boy Life Coach Jeff coming to you. Remember, redirect, regroup, refocus, and I love y'all. And peace out.